Welcome to Misfit HQ. Drew and Sherb here with some 22.2 quick tips. Starting this off, we got to make sure we get a really good warm-up in. We want to go back to that 15-minute sweat check. We want to make sure that we've got that blood flow. We got the heart rate going from sort of that conversational steady state pace up into a decent pace where you're really staying focused and keeping your mind on that. From there, we got to get into some activation and mobility. We got to make sure with this workout specifically that there is some high rep hip hinging, okay? We're gonna get into these details on the podcast here in a minute, so make sure you go check that video out as well, but it's really important to get blood flow and fluid to the right areas. From there, we're gonna do a good old-fashioned Misfit Athletics primer, and then you're gonna warm up your deadlift. Now, when it comes to the actual quick tips of the movements today, we think it's worth it to go over deadlift basics because we see form break down across 100 reps when it comes to this weight range, and we have to make sure that we are being efficient here so that this movement that should be quick and should be potentially the easier part of this workout actually is. So Sherb's gonna go ahead and address the bar here. He's gonna go ahead and put his hands down, pull into tension for me. You're going to notice that his feet are nice and close together and that his hands are as close as they can be without running into the knees. Now he's gonna show me that first pull to the knee. Okay, he's driving through his feet. We like to call this the earth press, right? We're driving the legs into the ground. We're not trying to pick up the bar. He's got some nice leverage over the barbell here, and then he is going to finish by extending the knees back and pushing the hips forward. One really important point here, his shoulders get behind that bar and we don't see any of that lean back. We want to stay away from that position as much as possible in this workout. Get your deadlift done and be done, okay? So Sherb now is going to follow that reverse pattern. His hips go back. He's in that nice position there. And then as he drops back down to the ground, he is remaining in tension, but dropping the hips back. Give him a couple of reps here. Leg drive, hips through, knees extended. Very good. Go ahead and put the bar down. Sherb's a pretty big guy here. We got to give him a little bit of credit. He just did this workout, and I made him do that low hang hold there for a little bit too long. Got some leg shake going. So when we're talking about the burpee, the very first thing that we have to be careful of when we pair it here is that we do not overextend by doing the worm on the way down on the burpee. So Sherb is just going to show us what a really good sprawl looks like. Great. Go ahead and come back up for me. Show me what it looks like to bring your hips down first and lower your body. Okay, that overextended position here is really bad. We want to get rid of that. So that first step, we're making sure that we are sprawling in this burpee. Mentioned that Sherb was a bigger guy. We mentioned that because he has to move more weight and more length through space in this than a lot of other athletes. What that means is he needs to stay low. If he stands all the way up in every single burpee, just like if you stood all the way up on the top of a box jump over or something like that, it's too much work. So he's gonna go ahead and go down here and he's gonna give us a full rep and just show us what it looks like for a bigger guy to stay nice and low. Very good. All right. Last but not least, we're just gonna address that overextension one more time. He's gonna sprawl for me. And when you're coming up in this burpee, because there isn't a lot of upper body demand here, it is okay to have a little bit of a press. But if we're gonna stay low, the press has to come with that hip hinge. Go ahead and go back down for me. What does that look like when we overextend? Okay, got that paperclip effect. You keep doing this to your back, it's gonna be a problem, it's going to snap. Now, with the footwork, because we're gonna cover 3 separate strategies in the podcast, make sure you check out that video next. Because we're gonna do those 3 strategies, the footwork will change for different athletes when it comes to the step up, when it comes to 2 feet up, all that good stuff. But main point here, the pacing in this workout is gonna come a lot from this position. If we can stay really good at the sprawl and the hip hinge on the way down, we can be efficient and we stay low. So when it comes to the footwork, when you're warming up and you're getting ready for this workout, make sure that you know exactly what your footwork looks like, because that's where we're gonna be able to dictate actual pacing within this workout. Like I just referenced, We have a podcast coming up. We're going to go in detail on exactly what we think the warm-up should be. We're going to talk in depth more about the movements themselves. We're going to talk about cooling down. We're going to talk about all the different types of strategies that you should have. So again, take these quick tips, put them in your brain, and we'll see you in the podcast.